No, you
Now
have
we're
to press
live.
it. Now we are.
I think we're live now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you share it on Twitter?
I just tweeted it from my account.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll share it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Should I just retweet it from Book Chaos's account too?
Yes. We're so good at
I
this,
nearly
you
just type
guys.
Discord and join us.
This is our fourth one. We should be.
We should be better at this by now.
Well, chaos is in the title.
It's true. It wouldn't be us without some level of chaos.
Fair.
Okay. So, does anybody have any spoiler-free thoughts? I feel like there's an echo. Is there an echo?
There is an echo.
Is it me?
Is it like a weird whirring?
No,
I think that's separate. Do you have headphones?
No, but I'll put them in. I have to.
I just realized I have the wrong book, so.
Is
What
that
a
better?
disaster.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Unless it's Sophia.
No.
No, I
Within
think
the-
it's okay.
Is the echo gone?
Yay.
It's
I
so
think so.
beautiful, the cover.
I really like
I don't like the cover.
I like the black and
Nah.
the gold and the blue. I don't know. I really like it.
Yeah, I like the colors. I don't like the design.
That's fair, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Spoiler-free thoughts, anybody?
Well, we should do the thing where we go around and we say our thoughts and our rating. Oh my God, Sophia.
Why don't you start, Sophia?
Since it's your channel, introduce yourself.
I'm so scared. I've never done this before. Okay, so hey, my name is Sophia. This is my channel. We're talking about Black Sun. I gave this a 4 stars on Goodreads, but I actually think I might lower it to a 3-star review. I think it was good, but it just wasn't a favorite of mine. Okay, Tammy.
I'm Tammy from Tammy Tries to Read. I gave this a 3.5 stars. I thought it was good, and I thought some of the perspectives I really liked, and then other ones I didn't really care for. And yeah, that was kind of my main thing. It was just like a bit of a mixed bag for me.
Mm-hmm. Is it me or Katie?
Yeah, I can go. So I'm Katie from Brightness Katie Reads. I don't really have a rating. When I did it on Goodreads, I just left it unrated because I don't really know how I feel. Because I feel like it's a solid book, like objectively, but I didn't really love it. And I feel like it's the characters, because I found this with her other book as well. I don't really think she's the author for me, but there were definitely some really good bits of it, and I really loved the kind of world that she created. I feel like it's quite unique in terms of kind of the mythology and the sort of like setup, like I don't know what the proper word is, like political setup, hierarchy. I don't know. Yeah, so I guess they're my thoughts.
Okay, I'm Rue from Rue's Reading Corner. I gave the book 3.75 stars, rounded up to a 4. I think it was a pretty solid, like, foundation book. It kind of reminded me of The Bone Witch or Three Dark Crowns. I don't know if you guys have read them, but like I feel like those first books are very similar in the way that nothing really happens. They just explain the world. They introduce you to the world, introduce you to the character, and then stuff just ends off when things are getting good. So you know the sequel is going to be a lot more action-packed, a lot better. But the first book is just, it's important in the long run because it explains, like Sophia said, the political the political climate of the world and the characters too. I think I was more interested in a few characters, Ziala and Serapio. And I didn't really like Naranpa. And then I feel like, who was the fourth perspective.
Okoa.
I just feel like
Okoa.
I just feel like we didn't get enough of him for me to have any
No.
opinion on him. But yeah.
I felt like he was just very much there to be like, let me info dump a little bit about my
Mhm.
sector of Carrion Crow.
And
I was
that's
just
funny.
Mhm.
That's funny because I was just gonna say I actually quite liked him, but now you mentioned he was the info dumpy character, and I like info dumps.
Well, I just wish we got more because I was really interested in his world, like the racing crows, like riding crows and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Mm.
There's just the crow. What's it called? The Carrion Crow.
Carrion Crow.
Yeah.
I was just really interested in that because we got the Sun Priest and the other priests, and they always obviously looked down on Carrion Crow, and they thought they were the ones betraying them. So I just wanted to see the other side of the story as well.
Mhm.
For me, I would say like this entire book personally felt like chess pieces, because you know how sometimes like most authors, they'll have like their separate characters in different aspects of the world, and then like by the end they just bring them all together for like this explosive ending. This entire book felt like a setup book. Like the author was just taking her time getting the game pieces ready. And for me, I wouldn't have minded that if the climax actually lasted.
Mhm.
You know? Because it left like on a cliffhanger, and I'm just like, we had all of this setup only for it to end on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like what Rue was saying about it kind of being like the first book, kind of almost kind of a setup and not a rocky
Mhm.
start, but like I feel like if all three books, or I don't know if it's a trilogy, but I think
think
if
it's a
it had all
trilogy.
been out and I'd been reading it that way, I think maybe I might have liked it just if I'd got the whole like
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
Because
I feel like. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, it's just like I sometimes books, and I think sometimes N.K. Jemisin books do this a bit as well. The kind of trilogy feels like a whole book, like just one big book rather than three separate books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say like I know it ended on like a cliffhanger per se, but I'm like I don't feel like the cliffhanger made me want to be like I need the next book right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like how it ended, I'm like I feel like the way that it ended with like in the next book, the characters you're gonna get more of are Narampa. You're probably gonna get Narampa's brother and Okoa, and I'm like, those are the people I don't care about. So I was kind of like, okay, we'll see.
Personally, I didn't mind Narampa's setting because Narampa's like from a lower class of people. And so it was interesting to see how she was discriminated against in even though she's like in a position of power. There's like a thing by Jay-Z. It's like a black person. I'm going to say the clean version of the saying, but it's like a black person in a Benz is still a black person. And so it's like no matter your wealth, no matter where you come from, no matter how successful you become, you'll still always be that impoverished person, that uncultured person. And so I thought that aspect was really interesting. But also she pissed me off because
she pissed me off so much.
She was just like,
I do think her character was necessary. Like it was a necessary point of view. But I do agree, she wasn't my favorite character.
Her infatuation with Iktan is so irritating to me. I was like, Iktan is shady as shit. Like, I don't get it. I'm like, you used to have sex. I get it. We get it. But like, no. It pissed me off.
There's a scene as well. I don't know if are we going into spoilers now or.
I mean, it's been 10 minutes. We should.
Spoiler time.
Okay.
So I feel like there's a scene.
Spoilers.
Yeah. The scene where Narumpa gets kind of annoyed with Iktan because Zay? Is it
Zay?
Zay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Has been like sleeping.
Zay.
Yeah.
Shay. Has been like sleeping with other people, and Narumpa just like throws a hissy fit.
I was like, homegirl, like you don't have a relationship anymore. Like, let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, they were together when? Like a long time ago?
Forever ago. And
Yeah.
was the sex that good though? Like, was it really like?
And then she got betrayed by Shay anyways. So like
Exactly, he was shady.
She got betrayed. She got betrayed by everyone at the end. Like,
yeah,
Shady as shit.
literally.
I love
And
how
no.
I love how we're just all yelling over each other.
I know. And Naruto's just like, but Jay's sexy. I don't care. And I'm like, honey.
How old is she supposed to be? I at first, like when I started reading, I thought she was like grandma age, and then she
No,
got all.
I'm pretty sure she's like 27.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that was literally like on page.
Oh.
Or no, Shiala's 27.
Yeah.
Shiala's 27.
I actually loved.
I don't think, yeah, and I think
Shiala
is
mwah.
21.
Mhm.
22.
Yeah, he's a little younger.
I really thought Narumpa read like she was a lot older.
I thought she read like she was about 19 or 20.
I honestly, the way that she thirsts for Iktan, I would think she's young.
Yeah.
I have a feeling she said something about 20 years ago. I felt like something like that. I don't know.
Well,
Let me
maybe
know.
she should reevaluate her priorities. Like,
Shala was the best part of the
agree.
series.
She could step on me like all day, every day. I love
And I'll
her.
say thank
so
you.
much. Exactly. Like, please, ma'am.
Pirate Queen. Love her.
I just loved her and like Serapio's tension, like the sexual tension. Oh, throughout the entire thing.
I also
So
love just
good.
the way storytelling is weaved into a story. The way they tell each other stories. I'm just like, yes.
Yes.
Tell me a
When
story.
they got locked into a room together, I was like, yes. I live for this trope.
the way people just get betrayed left and right in this book. It's like Narumpa is getting betrayed.
But I
My
feel like
favorite
with
scene.
Shala and Serapio, I feel because like it was. I feel like it was inevitable because they were like Teak. Like we love the Teak. We love what she can do to us. And then they saw her true form, and they were just like prejudice.
My favorite scene was when Shiala was getting betrayed by her crew, and then Serapio comes on and he goes, I can't see, but I've got crows, bitches.
That's the part of the story. I was like, oh shit is gonna go down now. Like that was. I feel like that's the turning point of the story.
I was like, I feel this, but then I kind of like when we got Narumpa chapters, and I was just like, give me crows, give me the evil crows. Like I live for this.
Literally.
They really carried them.
Like even at the ending, I just love how Serapio's just gone to fuck shit up, and Shiala's not even like, oh, he's a villain. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Villain power couple.
I
love it.
That. Literally, she's just like, yeah, he's going to mass murder people, but also I got feelings for him. He made me feel some type of way. Like,
and then she's also like, but I also like to fuck shit up too. Let's just fuck shit up together.
I'm telling you, evil power couple. But
I love them.
it's weird.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
For me, because like I wasn't like a big fan of Serapio from like his perspective, but like when the story was being told from Shala's perspective and it was them, for some reason I was just like
living. Yeah. I loved the flashbacks. I
When I was shooketh. The very first page I read, I think I texted it in the group chat.
Yeah, you did.
I was like, the mother just mutilated her son. And literally Tammy was just like, I'm hyped now.
Meanwhile, when Tammy and I read it, we were like, oh yeah, cool. Let's just keep going.
Let's continue. I feel like though the ending, like we're fully in spoilers now. If anyone's tuning in now, like we're talking about spoilers. At the end, though, because Okua takes away Serapio, like they're separated. So I'm like, do I care about book 2? They're not
that always happens. I feel like that always happens to romances in book 2. They're always separated.
I'm upset. It's like the main reason why I was like actually so into.
You have to read it. to see them get back together at the end of
I'm gonna wait for people to tell me if they get back together. If not, then I'm gonna wait till book 3 comes out.
Yeah. I feel like the world is pretty big enough for them to have their like separate storylines in book
For
2.
a whole book. I agree. Mm-hmm.
What would Giala do now? Can she still
I
be?
don't know. I mean, she's still technically under the employ of Balaam. Was that his name, Lord Balaam?
His name just kept
Whatever.
showing up. Have you guys noticed? Like,
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Yes.
okay, my singular brain cell did not put the pieces together until the final person was all like, yeah, we helped her. And I'm just like,
Balaam.
oh my gosh. It's all
Yeah.
connected.
at first, I was just like, literally, where have I heard that name before? But then, yeah, like it's so interesting.
I was a little disappointed because I was holding out for like a non-linear timeline situation because they keep telling you like how far out it is, and it goes from like, obviously there's the flashback chapters, but then it goes from like 19 days to 16 days back to 18 days, and it keeps like flipping back and forth between days, and I'm like, are they gonna give me a mind fuck where they're like, they've already arrived and this like shit is going down, and they didn't do that, and I was
I
just
feel like I
like,
didn't even notice that.
I do, because like whenever there's timestamps on chapters, I take note because I love like non-linear things, and I just feel like I was like, I was hoping for like a really epic like timelines converging moment, but we didn't get one, sadly.
Yeah.
We did get the bath scene though.
Okay. I feel
It was too short.
Twitter
it was
hyped me up
short.
for it too much. I feel like I don't know.
Twitter really hyped
that's
me up.
all I
Hey.
could see. That's all I could see on
All
Twitter.
UK.
And then I was like, "Where's the bat scene?" And then I was like, "Oh wait, I already read it."
And the thing is, I was so hyped. I was so hyped for the bath scene that I thought I almost got to it because like 50 pages before the bath scene, she's literally like, "I need a bath," and I was like, "Oh, she needs a bath."
I'm good.
And then that was when they introduced. That's when they introduced the other lady that like was hitting on her, and I was like, oh, are we gonna get a threesome? Like, I'm so here for it, and then we didn't get it. I was so upset.
Missed opportunity for a polyamorous relationship.
I swear, I thought he was like, I need to go leave to fuck shit up. He even thanked her. I was like, okay, oh God, my feels. And I really thought he'd just walk to the exit and like come back and be like, nah, this is more important. That scene would go on for a chapter. That's what I want. Like, I don't understand this. Explain this injustice to me. The bath scene in Rage of Dragons is like 100 pages long. And it's the most atrocious, horrifying thing I've ever read in my life. Like, my eyes have been scarred for life. And you're telling me this one is like half a page? A paragraph, really? Where's the justice in that? That's all I'm saying.
I'm like, this needed to be a whole chapter, please.
Right.
Like, also, like when the moment they first kiss, I was like, ooh, this tension.
It was so good. The tension was so well written. It was like a nice
really good.
slow burn because like she goes from pitying him because like everybody else is scared of him, and she's just like, you know what, let's just go eat on the boat because like these people don't trust you. And then they just build upon that, and they're like telling each other stories and shit, and I'm just like, And then Shala, because like she's like that. Shala's like that hard bitch, you know? She doesn't open up to anybody. So when she was just like, yeah, my mom was an abusive bitch too. And I was just like, you just open your head to this mass murderer. Like, all she wants is love.
The most wholesome mass murderer, though. Like,
He's so. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, oh, what a himbo. But then I'm like, oh no, but he's a mass murderer. Like, but he has such himbo vibes.
he does. Like, right from the start, where he just like bites into the whole fish and tries to eat all the bones. Sir.
Oh, what a cutie. I die.
He's like I feel like he is both because he lived like such a sheltered life, so he doesn't know any better. And like the part where she was just like, she tells him when they were locked in the cabin and she was just like, yeah, I'm in here naked with you, and then he was just like
Yeah, he's like, oh, naked.
Oh,
Bless his little heart.
I know.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't know what to do with
That's
that.
the worst part because he's such a little himbo that when he starts like fucking shit up, I'm just like, yes, himbo.
Yes, when iconic, like when he just calls on the fucking crows to like tear people to shreds. I was
just not
living.
expecting that. So I was like, oh, the crows are just gonna like flutter on their faces, like a warning.
Oh no, you have not watched horror movies.
Oh no,
Clearly.
I stay away from horror movies. I stay away from horror
Me
movies.
too, but like whenever birds come, like birds are like the most terrifying thing. So like whenever birds come, I know that shit is gonna hit the fan. Okay, there's these birds in Toronto, but I actually think like there's birds like in a lot of places in Canada near the water where they literally come and just like attack you. And in my head, those were, yeah.
Oh my god. I know
that, and I was like, and I am still traumatized from one time it like flew like literally like I could feel its wing on my head, and literally as I was reading that scene, I was like, ugh,
that's fair.
ugh.
I don't know if I just wasn't expecting it from Serapio at that point in time. He was, I don't know. But it's just so interesting because he feels no remorse, like zero remorse.
I love it.
And I don't know. I'm sorry you had to see that or something like that. He's not even.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
I'm not sorry for mass murdering your entire crew. I'm just sorry you had to witness
You had
it.
to see it.
Wait, but
I really.
I have a question.
Sorry. Go.
I have a question. So, like, did Giella not get her throat sliced? How did she heal? Did he heal her? Can he heal people?
I don't think she got it fully sliced.
No, it was cut, but like.
Okay. But like suddenly she stopped choking on her blood.
But to be honest, I thought she was dead because I'm really bad at like character descriptions. So at the end, when it was Okua's chapter, when he was going around describing like who was dead, I was like, I don't know who any of these people are because I don't know what anyone's supposed to look like. But like they described one person as having like their throat slit, and I was like, Gialla's dead. What do you mean? But then like I reread it this morning, and I don't think it's her. So
I'm so confused.
Okay. This is gonna sound brutal, but like those people that betrayed Narampa and that guy that tried to like
Ada,
and then when they died, I was just like, you would have
get.
if you hadn't tried to usurp her.
It's what you deserve. Yeah.
But like, did you guys understand what exactly she was working for? Because like, or who she was working for? Because like all I got was that she just wanted to. She had to against Carrion Crow. That's all I got. Like she just wanted to pin Narampa's murder on Carrion Crow so that she had a reason to fight them. That's all I got.
I just think like they don't like the people from Carrion Crow because they probably view them and like their views as weird because they don't understand it. So the Night of Knives, apparently like because Carrion Crow had like a genocide, so I think it would have been easier to pin it on them because like the genocide only happened like a generation prior.
Yeah.
And so for them, it would have been like, we could easily blame this on Carrion Crow and say, hey, they just wanted revenge for the Night of Knives. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
But I don't even know what Narampa herself was trying to work for because she was just like, we got to change. We got to change the way we do stuff around here. And I'm just like, but what are we changing? Like, what are we working towards?
I think she just wanted to feel more useful. Because it said that her mentor or the person before her just gave up a lot of his power. I think what she just wants is to get that back, right? Or like just to feel important because her position at this point is pretty, like it's just there for her. Yeah, there's no power.
Basically a figurehead.
A figurehead.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm just like, you want all this change, but you're not telling us what it is
Why?
you want.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. And like I would have thought like if she wanted change, like this is my mind, the way my mind works. Cause like she came from poverty. And like her people work as servants for the people up in the tower, right? So like if she wanted change, I would think that the change she would want would be like education for the impoverished, better healthcare. Basically a Bernie Sanders 2.0. Healthcare for everybody, education for everyone. But then she goes to visit her brother and she was just like, yeah, our entire family died, but like in my mind you were dead too. And I'm just like, oh my goodness.
I don't feel like they really explored why she fell out with her family so drastically.
Yeah.
I also don't think they explained how she got from, because I know I know she was sent as a servant. So like
how she got from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the thing is, I didn't even know her parents died in a fire, because in the beginning of the book it mentions that her brother, I think it mentioned that her brother died in a fire or something. And it just said that I don't even think it mentioned if her parents died or not. But like it wasn't until I started reading and like the brother had burn scars all over him. I was like, oh, the entire family, or almost the entire family died. And sis couldn't hook a brother up.
Yeah, but I think she said that the only way she could really succeed was to forget where she came from.
Yeah.
Because
I think we got kind of like a lot of world building in terms of like world, but then I feel like we were just kind of thrown in with the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess just quite a lot of books do that. Like you don't always get backstories.
But like I feel like Narampa has such, I feel like all of them have like, except for Okoa. But like the three main characters, like their backstories are so interesting, and like because I'm a character-based reader, personally, I would have enjoyed a lot more, and I felt like it would have made me more attached to the characters. I feel like in terms of backstory, I feel like we got
we got Serapios for sure.
Serapio, yeah,
because we got flashbacks.
We got a good chunk of his backstory, and for like the little bits and pieces we got of Shala, I was like, she deserves the world, she deserves all the happiness. But like with Narampa, it was just like a little, that meme. Like,
well, I feel like with Giala, I didn't see it coming, because like she talked about her path, and she talked about how she could never go back, but I didn't think her and I'm really curious to know why her mother kicked her out.
Yeah, same.
Because they don't say that, because when she said, oh, my mother is a monster, she kicked me out, I was like, oh,
okay.
I think it was her mom and her grandma. No, was it her grandma?
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. So
but yeah, and then like Serapio is a victim of abuse, and I say this because literally his mom mutilated him, and then when Shala was all like, yeah, my mother's an abusive bitch too, he was like, in his mind, he's like, I don't think my mom was abusive, and I'm like, sir, like you were literally birthed into this world for one purpose, and that purpose was revenge. Like that's it. And he's just like, but I think she loved me in the end. And I'm just like, oh, that poor baby. He doesn't know love. He doesn't know what love is. And like,
that's why when he leaves Giala, he's like, thank you. I cry. I have this, you best believe I have the little paragraph marked.
Yeah, what did I highlight? It's mostly Serapio.
He says the most like, he says, I never enjoyed food until I met you. I'm just like,
yeah, literally.
I'm so soft. Oh. You were the one who gave me the gift. I'm fine. Huh.
Oh yeah, like he's such a sad baby. Serapio is such a sad baby, because I have it's on page like 128, where it's like, of course he had his birds and they let him borrow their eyes when he took the star pollen, and he had something else, the crow god, but none of it replaced what he ached for most, the company of people.
I know. Going back to the casual murder, when like I feel like the author has a hand at it, because she mentions it so casually as well, because like so casually he's talking to his last mentor. He's like, you killed your last 2 mentors, didn't you? And he was like, so what if I did?
But like he had a reason though.
I know.
They were because I think the first one threatened to whip his crows, and like those are the only companions he's ever had in his life. And he's like, no, he's like, you could beat and abuse me, but not my crows. And killed him.
I just like that the third one was like, oh, I want to be your friend.
And then with the third one, it was so interesting because he's just like, yeah, I loved your mother. And he's like, how are you gonna kill me? And he's like, I'm not gonna kill you. And then he's like, don't I deserve death? And he's like, I think that it would be more painful for him to live with his misdeeds, and then like death would be too easy for him. And I was just like, ooh,
this boy.
Oh.
Oh, dear.
I didn't even love him.
His dad was like, his dad really pissed me off.
Yeah, like you couldn't give him like a hug every once in a while, just a hug, just a little, you know.
Poor boy.
Poor baby. Yeah, I definitely feel like the world was really cool. I don't know if you guys read the author's note at the end, but I really like the point she made about how like she just kind of like borrowed from a multitude of different cultures. And I feel like this is the thing where like a lot of people expect POC authors to like only write like an authentic quote unquote experience or like an authentic history. And she like explicitly says in her author's note, she's like, this is not, you know, a history book. This is not going to tell you anything about history. This is in the same vein as like Western European fantasy gets to just borrow whatever the fuck they want and then write the rest as like complete fiction. Like she's like, that's what I did. And I was like,
didn't she also get a lot of slack on Twitter? Like, I think someone called her out for something. It was
I think so.
It was a whole mess.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like the standards for white authors are so different.
So low.
Because the fact that she had to put in the author's note, like, hey, I'm borrowing from other cultures. White people just do that shit.
They never have to do that.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a dash of this, you know, and like nobody questions it. But like when it's a woman or like a woman of color, then it's just like, or a person of color in general. It's just like, why aren't you representing your culture properly?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the fact I'm interested in like the mystery aspect of it, because like something's going on. I think Narampa's people murdered the Crow Lady, the head matron.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
She was like, they're like
Ava. And
they're like, oh, we found her dead in her sleep, and it's just, and then like her brother was like, no, we found her body, sis. Like, she either committed suicide or she was murdered, and I'm just like, Shay is such a hoe. I can't. Shay betrayed.
Such a hoe.
Like, how do you betray your friend like that?
Like, I'm telling you, shady from page 1. And this is what pissed me off most about Narampa. I'm like, if you just had one brain cell, and did not, like, and looked past your lust.
Because, like, Narampa was so suspicious of everyone for good reason from the start. Yeah. And she had this kind of almost war. She was, like, almost a silent... Not like a full frontal war, like a cold war she was having with Abba. But I just think that, but I don't know, like the moments with Iktan when she gets everything taken away from her, and Iktan is the one doing it. And
literally. And like from the second where she's just like, oh, Iktan's not a conclave. I guess that's normal. I'm like, honey, that's not normal. Like, Jay's obviously being shady. Like I was like, I was so pissed off. She was like, "Oh, I guess he kind of does that," and I was like, "Ma'am."
Well, I also thought the way I thought I'm not gender non-binary, but personally, I thought the way that was handled was also it was well handled, even though Shay turned out to be a villain. Well, if we're being honest, all of them are villains. I feel like everyone is more. We love Shala, but Shala is trying to get it on with a mass murderer. So, you know,
yeah,
Shala, she's the teeth.
Oh, Shala?
Yeah.
I was thinking of someone completely. I was like, who's Shala?
But yeah, but I thought it was really handled. I thought, because like a lot of times when books put like a minority, whether it's gender, sexuality, or a person of color, it's always all like, look at that person, not like the rest of us, you know?
I feel like she did a good job at like not tokenizing the non-binary characters, because it's also like it wasn't even just Ikton, like the other CEO that was like training, Serapio also uses neo-pronouns. And then I don't know if anyone else noticed it, but like one character randomly at the beginning, like a super mind, I don't even remember who they were, but they were just someone in passing and they used they their pronouns, or like they them pronouns. And so it's just like, it's just very clear that in this world, like it doesn't adhere to like a gender binary. And I thought that was really cool and really well done.
Yeah.
Because like some people would just be like, and like there was no explanation of it either. Because people like they'll try to explain it, and I was just like, okay, I guess that this is what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Did we talk about the plot and how we feel about the plot?
I feel like we did one before we were live, so
yeah. I did not like the pacing. I just like, and I feel like we said this about, or like I said this about An Unkindness of Ghosts too, where it was like the first like 90%, and it was more dramatic here because it was like the first literally 90% of the book, like it's very slow paced, nothing really happens, it's just like world building. And I feel like if the book had even just like continued on, I would have had less of a problem with it. But then all of a sudden they're like, let's just fuck shit up and like do everything all at once, and I was just like, stop. Let's just like roll it back a second.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of first books, like I said, a lot of first books do this. They'll give you all this like slow pacing, all this information. Usually the character will be young and they'll grow up in the span of the first, like, let's say 2/3 of the book. And then the last section will be like, okay, here's the action. This is what the main plot that the book is going, like the whole series is going to follow in like subsequent books. And they'll give you like a taste of it. And then you're like, oh, read the second book to find out what happens next. So like, yeah.
My thing, I would have liked the ending if it had just continued. Just give me a couple more pages. Just.
I thought I didn't download like Libro FM. I was like, did I not download the entire audiobook? Like, Overdrive and Libby, maybe not Libby, but Overdrive has like little sections and they all download individually. So I was like, did I just?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Like it was really.
I just like give me a little more from the ending. Like it was just like a little taste. I was just like, I need more sustenance than this. Like you gave me this appetizer for like now like
and a moose boosh.
Give me a little more, you know.
And it wasn't particularly like long book either, so it definitely could have had like a little bit extra.
Yeah, it was also like so fast paced. I mean, I feel like we all flew through it.
Yeah, I feel like that the writing is very like addictive. Like I wouldn't say it's like very poetic or anything like that, but it was very addictive. Like it made you want to keep reading. I think
also the way that the chapters were spaced out, because we like Giala and Serapio so much.
Yeah, you
like the way, because their chapters always ended at like this kind of almost cliffhanger, and then you got Naramba or Rokua, and then just like do this and find out what happens in the next chapter. With
it was. Let me find out if they kiss in the next chapter.
Fair.
Every time we read a new chapter, is this going to be where we get the bath scene?
Literally, from the moment the word bath was mentioned, I was like, bath scene? Bath scene? Bath scene?
You have to take a bath sometime. Like, wow.
No, but literally, Shell was like looking for a bath for like 50 pages. And I was like, Give her the bath. Give a woman her bath.
Viola is Aaron simping over Hilo. I don't think it's that bad.
Where do you see that?
Like the third comment from the bottom.
Oh, Aaron simping.
I wouldn't say Serapio was anything like Hilo.
But I think Shiala was simping over
100%.
Serapio, because like even then, like she had a chance to find somebody else, and then like she's just like,
but yeah, she even said I could go out and have fun, but I'd rather sit here and be depressed with you.
No, my favorite thing was when she was like locked in the room with him and she was naked or whatever, and she was like, no, if he wasn't blind, she'd like put on more of a show. And I was like, why are you like this?
the tension was just so good. Like
It was really well done.
so good. I think it was better than Narapa and
Iktan?
Yeah.
Again, I
Where's the romance in that?
Because like
where?
because like
I
it
feel
was one-sided.
Infatuation is what.
100%. Narampa was just like, Jay's so sexy. Jay's so sexy. I'm gonna throw out all my brain cells.
Narampa was the one who broke things off all that time.
Yeah.
I was like, well, ma'am, what do you want? Like, pick
And like Katie said, it was when she found out that like Jay was like sleeping with someone else, and she like threw a fit, and I was like,
it's
honey,
it's that okay, I don't want to say it's that trope that all YA books used to do, but like it's that trope where like the one of them is in love with the other, and then the other doesn't realize that
it's like, I don't want to be with you, but you can't be with anyone else either.
Until someone else is interested, and they're like, oh, now that is my person. Just like it pisses me off so much.
I'm telling you, she acted like a teenager, and I was like,
which is why I was so confused about her age. I was like,
I get that, because Iktan also like acts very old as well.
Yeah.
So then you're like,
also,
what is?
I feel like her brother also acts like, I mean, not old, but like that a lot of time has passed since they last met.
Yeah.
But maybe at least in her 30s.
Well, I was like, what's the age gap here? Me.
I know you guys say she had to cut off her past, and I'm feeling she couldn't a servant's job. He couldn't be a servant. Give him a roof over his head.
But I feel like there was fundamentally like some ideological differences between her and her family. It was like implied. It was implied that that's why she cut off relations with them, but like it wasn't explored in full.
Didn't your brother also go to like the military school or something like that? I feel like that's that.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't remember. I
know like the dad was like an asshole in the beginning. Because
the dad was realistic. The dad was realistic.
They were children. They were like literally 6 years old. And he was just like, you know what? Like he's like, give me all your hopes and dreams and just watch me crush them. Would you rather
those dreams get crushed when they're a lot older and they've been believing those dreams for their entire lives?
Children, Rue, you're a monster, Rue. How are you gonna crush them?
I don't want to give someone false hope for like. Why would you keep giving someone false hope and then when it's time for them?
The dad was so aggressive, though. The dad didn't need to be that aggressive.
I don't know. I feel like that's how my dad is. If I tell him something but I always like that. Like the real. That's why.
It's like the tough love thing.
That's why I'm realistic. I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to waste all my time going after something I know I'm not going to get.
But like, Narampa proved her father wrong in the end. So
was she ever really the sun priestess? She got betrayed. Like no one ever really
doesn't know that. The dad died before that happened.
I want to know what happened.
Ignorance is bliss.
How the hell? Again, I want to know how he got from being a servant to the sun, the next sun.
That's so true.
There's no way. It's too convenient if that guy was just like, you're not like the others. Let me just You. I pick you from everyone else. It has to be something.
You're not
else.
like other servants.
Do we think Iktan had anything to do with it?
Yes.
Were they together?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
And like Narampa mentioned it because apparently Iktan is from like a different tribe.
Yeah.
But like I guess Iktan is from a more acceptable status in society than
I
Narampa.
also feel like Iktan didn't really care about all this. Like the way Narampa
Yeah.
has never known power like this. So she's so desperate to hold
Yeah.
on to it. She doesn't even realize when it's slipping away from her because I don't know, she has that it's almost sad in a way, I feel like.
You know what it reminds me of? Those teachers we all had in high school that they're like
Not those teachers.
we've all had at least one teacher. They're just like miserable and like they have that power, that tiny little bit of power over the students.
And they trip over it.
Yeah.
That power trip. Yep.
Yeah. That was Narampa.
Oh boy. I did like how we have like older characters in this book though, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of like, especially like a lot of hyped books are like younger characters, like early 20s and whatnot.
Because they're trying to appeal to YA audiences as well.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But I
did
feel
like-
like if there's an older character, there will also be a teenage character, at least one.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas I like how this cast, I mean, we don't really know how old Narampa is because she acts like a teenager, but like,
I would say Serapio's like 21, so like that's pretty close to it.
yeah, but
early to mid 20s, if I were to guess.
No, he
But
said he's
Serapio feels kind of ageless in a way because he is essentially like not
A god.
human.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a
he's not
vessel
human
for
in the
a
way
god.
that he's an avatar. Yeah, exactly.
But I also think it's like a choice to make his perspective the one with the flashbacks of him as a kid as well.
True.
When I'll tell you, I read that first scene and I was like, this woman, she just blinded her own son. Oh my goodness. I
I'm
wasn't
not
right.
gonna lie, it got me more hype for the book. I was like,
I was hyped.
I didn't know what I was expecting. Like I knew nothing.
I wasn't expecting that.
I didn't expect anything going into this book. I was like, I just know it's really hyped and that everyone's been talking about it on Twitter. So I was like, let me just read it. And then the first chapter, I was like, this is like I also felt it was like almost false excitement because like
Yeah, I agree.
and then we go back to the next chapter is Narampa and the next few chapters is Narampa. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel
So I
like
will say Shiala's entrance.
Oh,
Shiala's
yeah,
entrance
her
is
chapter.
iconic.
again, we have that whole chapter, and then it's Narampa. I'm just like, she's giving me little pieces that I'm just like, which is why like when they met and like when they started traveling together was like that's when I really started getting interested.
and I also feel like because Narampa isn't the most likable character, unless you like mass murderers, then Serapio and Shala, we love them. But for Narampa, I feel like hers is just more focused on like the political machinations. So like if you're not interested in the political machinations and you're following it from a character who you're not the biggest fan of, I feel like it can slow it down or like be uninteresting.
Whereas I love political anything in books. I love learning about structures and if they're failing and stuff like that, which is why I love City of Brass, like the Devabha trilogy so much. But the thing is that if Narampa was a character I could relate to, she was a character I wanted to follow, her perspective would have been my favorite because her story is so interesting.
Yeah,
which is why
I agree. I feel like she wasn't really developed as a character very much. Like you don't really learn much about her motivations, like we said before. Like to be honest, for the most, like I did feel like her chapters were also kind of info dump because they were really just like, here, let's learn about Tova, boom. And like let's have a character we follow. So like here you go. Like her only trait for like the first like 100 pages is that she thirsts over Iktan and like and doesn't trust anybody. Like and I'm like, can we have a little more? Yeah, I'm like, can we have a little more depth to her? Like you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, I feel like all we get is her infatuation with Iktan, and then her past and how she's trying to no one. She doesn't want anyone to know about her past, and how she's so paranoid about being betrayed that we don't really, like Sophia said before, we don't really get to see what she wants, like what she's fighting towards, because you can tell right from the start is that like she's forcing the other priests to do things that are not custom or like something they're not used to, like right at the start, and they're complaining and they don't know why she's making them do this, and she wants them to have a more active role in society, but to do what? Like I get that part of it is that no one is praying to them anymore, no one is coming to them with their problems and stuff like that, but I feel like there's more than that as well.
Yeah.
Sis was on a power trip the entire time.
The entire time.
That's so sad to finally be at a position of power and then just realize that your predecessor gave all that power up, so you don't actually have any power.
I want to know why the predecessor did that, because I feel like that would have been interesting to explore as well, because normally when you have power consolidated to one person, it leads to like an abuse of power. So is that why the predecessor was like, let's share this power, but like they're all corrupt, so did it really help anything? I don't think so, but I feel like that would have been interesting to learn about as well.
I'm trying to find the scene where because if Iktan was the person who got her job, something
wasn't it Iktan got her job?
No, we were saying maybe maybe Jay had something to do with it.
But then at the end, when Jay comes to take the mask, she's like, "I wish you never got this job because," or something like that. That's what I'm looking for, which is why it's so interesting.
I remember because, like, in the beginning, when her dad was crushing her soul, her mom was like, "Don't worry, honey, you could be up in that tower too. You could be a servant." And I was just like,
realistic.
Where can I find it?
Saying it seemed pretty easy for Narampa to be usurped. Facts.
Yeah.
It was way too easy for them to be like, "Oh, we're gonna replace you with what's his name?"
I don't even remember his name.
I don't remember his name, but he was like her little underling.
So who cares?
Yeah, he's dead now. But like, yeah, they were just like, "Well, jokes, we're gonna replace you," and I was like, "That was just really casual."
I know. They just locked her up in her room too. I'm just like, wow. Like, isn't she supposed to be the boss of everybody?
Right?
Yeah, she said, this is the part where she comes back to take the mask, and they're like, K2A did you a disservice when he named you Sun Priest. It was an impossible thing he asked of you. It did not have to come to this. Which is why I don't think she had anything to do with it.
Okay. Fair.
Ow.
Fair.
But, like, in terms of like Narampa, there's like a scene where she's with her brother and she's talking about like her betrayal, and then she's just like, "Oh, I've gotten a lot of enemies," and the brother is like, "Anyone who rises as you have will collect them like flies." He leaned back, tapping his fingers against the chin. "They hate you, don't they? Because you're not Sky Maid, no matter how hard you try." And I'm just like, it's the Benz. It's she, person in the Benz, you know? Do you guys have plans to read book 2 and 3?
Well, I want to wait until, I don't know.
I'm like a maybe, but I think for me, I would definitely wait till the rest of the series is out first. Like, I don't think I'm gonna read book 2 when it comes out. I think I would read it
I just feel
when
like because
the series is finished.
yeah, because it's a new release, I always get really excited and right after I finish the first book in a series, which is why I try not to read first books without the other books being out. Because I'm really excited. I really want to know what happens to Giella and Serapio now. And if the book was out now, 100% I would already be reading it. But like in a year's time, I don't think my excitement it's going to fizzle out. So like I don't know.
The same. I get that. Cause like it's the same for me. Cause like if all of the books were out, I would binge read them all in just one sitting. But
And
I feel like
tell us about them.
yeah, and like cause like when you haven't read a book and you forget all the little details.
Yeah,
That's gonna be me in a year, and I don't know if I would want to reread.
same.
Yeah, just to get to the second and third book.
I agree, but I'm like maybe in like 2 or 3 years time when the whole series is out, I might reread the first book to read the second and third. But yeah, I don't think I would do it for book 2. But who knows? You know, I hop on that hype train all the time. So like, we'll see.
Yeah, like if everyone, I feel like Twitter loves Black Sun. So like if everyone is people and everyone is like, oh, this is even better than book 1. I love it. I'm gonna pick it up.
Also, but like the thing is, I also feel like I don't trust book Twitter and their tastes. Like,
I definitely don't. I definitely trust them a little less after the bat scene hype. But yeah, I feel.
Yeah. So like, I'll just wait until one of you guys read it. I'll wait until Katie reads it.
Yeah.
Katie has to say.
Yeah, I agree.
Katie,
yeah, sometimes.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Sometimes the Twitter, I feel like with Twitter, like the Twitter hype, it's like people always fixate on one thing. Like with this book, it was the bath scene. With the Dragon Republic, people were like the dumplings. I'm like, when I read that, it was like pre my book Twitter days, so like I didn't even like register that scene. And yet on book Twitter, that's all anyone fucking talks about, and I'm like, it's not
the dumplings.
No.
Why the dumplings?
The cannibal dumplings.
When
Sudaji kills what's his name? Noja's brother.
I saw
yeah,
that and I was so confused.
Oh, you mean Burning God?
Is that Burning? No, it's in Dragon Republic.
That's
I feel like she references it in Burning God.
She references it.
Which is what I just said. Okay, yeah. Which is what I just said. I don't remember the Dragon Republic.
Yeah, it happens. In
like that's your brother, or like that. Enjoy your son. Bon appetit.
Yeah, exactly.
I like how we're casually spoiling the Dragon Republic.
I don't think it's like a major spoiler.
But it is like someone's death, so like we might.
He's like a pretty minor character, though.
I mean, usually you're the biggest stickler for spoilers.
Yeah, but I'm also like,
it's such a tiny thing because like I forgot.
And again, that's the thing that Twitter's like constantly talking about without spoiler tags, without anything. They're always talking about the fucking dumpling scene, and I'm like, it's not that bad. It's also like. Yeah, so like I just feel like book Twitter for every book just like fixates on one thing, and then I'm like, it doesn't paint a more like complete picture.
I feel like I don't follow too many Poppy War stands. I've never seen that.
But like also, I'm glad I didn't because like my Twitter is different from you guys, so like
we know.
Don't know what you guys are talking about. But like I didn't see anything about the bath scene. So like for me personally, I wasn't too disappointed. I was just like, oh, this is like a cute 2 pages. All right, what's next? You know, versus you guys who were like, this is it.
That's it. Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is spicy. Oh my goodness. I wasn't ready for this.
Yeah, when he was like, I want to give you something, I was like,
But Katie, I know you had some criticisms. What were your criticisms of it?
I think I'm not sure I have like specific criticisms that I can like pin down. I think it's more just like generally. I think the writing I found quite hard to kind of visualize almost. So then I didn't feel like. I mean, I guess maybe this is partly because there wasn't a huge amount of plot, but I just feel like because I wasn't invested in the characters. I then wasn't that invested in like what happened to them. But then actually on reread, Shyla grew on me a lot. I liked her the second time round. Yeah. But I just feel like I can't like, it just kind of went by me. I don't know if it's because I read the audiobook and maybe I would have benefited from reading it physically. But yeah, but I mean, I read audiobooks all the time and I get on fine with them. But like, just sometimes, and I don't know if it's like a specific writing style, because I have found this with a couple of other books. I just can't, like, no matter how hard I try, I just can't follow the book. And I think it's definitely a me problem rather than a book problem.
But it could also be.
I feel that.
It could also be a book problem. I feel like if the writing style just doesn't work for you, because I know you've listened to a lot more complicated. Like Leviathan Wakes is so much more complicated than this, and you said you've listened to the entire series on audio, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, so I don't think it's like a complexity problem. It just might be a book.
Yeah, I think it's just like this specific kind of style of writing.
I also think the setting might be because like we're so used to European settings and that's what's ingrained. So like reading this book, we have to like restructure the way we normally read books because like this is inspired by pre-Columbus America. So like trying to visualize and restructure our brains to read this book in this particular way, I think that could have like added to it as well, you know?
Yeah, I think the world I could kind of picture, like, especially because quite a bit of it kind of with Shyala's whole storyline taking place on like the sea. It was more like the specific kind of scenes.
I know what you mean though, Katie. I feel like I have books like that where I'm like, there's nothing wrong with it per se. It just doesn't click in my brain. And then like I'm just reading words, but they're not forming into actual sentences.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you're reading the words, but they're not like forming a story.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
I think we just said pretty much everything.
Yeah, agree. Next month's book is
Rapier!
Katie, come on. That was so cute.
I am excited.
Okay, so like I don't know how to do this, but like I hope you guys enjoyed the chaos that is this live show. I'll see you guys next time. Check out everybody's channels. They're dope. Okay, bye.
Bye.